Hi, we're Christine and Danny Bellish, real estate investors based out of New Jersey, with a background working in sales and marketing in the New York City advertising industry. We'd never raised private money before, but our first time trying, we raised $1.5 million for a 291-unit acquisition in Cleveland, which was also our first time as members of the General Partnership Group for a real estate syndication. We thought it might be helpful to share our experience with you.
Okay, so now that we understand the deal and we are all ready and prepared and confident to reach out to people, who do we actually reach out to?
So there's a lot of people that you need to reach out to. What we did is we reached out to everybody that we've ever met in our lives. And I don't mean that literally, but it's pretty darn close.
It's close.
So you kind of want to categorize people in a sort of a way so that you know how to prioritize who you're reaching out to, right? Your first list, or the very first people you reach out to, is your family and your close friends, of course. But you cannot just stop there. If you stop there, I promise you will not reach your goal. You're going to find a lot of family and a lot of friends. Hopefully a lot of them will be supportive. Some of them will be supportive in spirit and not with actual dollars. So you need to widen that circle. It's so important that you do so.
Yeah, so but beyond your close family and friends, you also want to reach out to your colleagues, your prior bosses, your real estate network, which hopefully you have built through social media, going to meetups and putting yourself out there into the world and letting everybody know that you are obsessed with real estate and that you're involved in real estate and that you want to be a GP and involved in syndication.
People that you generally think are either successful or savvy or just invest in general. Don't think that you're burdening these people. They want to hear about these opportunities. This is what gets their blood pumping. They are into it. So don't feel like you're bothering or annoying somebody, even if you haven't talked to them in a long time. Yeah. Like Christine said, an old boss of yours, that's not a crazy out-of-the-box idea. That could be someone who you know has had success in life and who knows you very well and you've already built some sort of a relationship with. Even if you haven't talked to them in years, reach out to them and say, hey, it's so nice to speak to you again. I know you've always been a smart and savvy business person. I'm working on something I think you might be interested in.
Yeah, I think especially people who you've met in your career, even if it wasn't real estate related, like our experience previously in the corporate advertising, marketing, and media world, people that have been supportive of your career and have seen you grow, and who you've built credibility with, even if it's not in real estate, that credibility can translate. And people that are your cheerleaders, they're going to be your cheerleaders regardless. So they honestly appreciate being reached out to, and it's a good excuse. And I know that you had even said this when you were reaching out to some of your old colleagues and friends, that it was a good excuse to reach out to people and catch up with people that you hadn't talked to in a long time.
It's so true. And you would be so surprised about the people that actually invest in the deal. And that is the best feeling in the world, is someone that you haven't talked to in 5, 10, 15 years, if you're as old as I am, and they actually invest in the deal. It's an amazing, wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
Some other people that you might not think of right off the bat that would invest in deals like this, think about your accountant, think about your attorney, or your insurance broker. These people hear about investment opportunities all the time. Yep. Don't think you'll be the first person to talk to them about an opportunity like this. But don't forget about them either. Make a list of those people who are professionals and see who might be interested in something or who can pass the word along for you.
Totally. I think the main point is to connect with people who you respect, who you have a great relationship with, and that who you assume or that you know has some level of financial literacy and investing experience or interest in investing. But I think the other thing too is don't pre-qualify people and count people out either. Just because you're not sure if somebody's interested, don't assume that they're not. Definitely reach out and give them the opportunity.
And you'll probably hear this in every video that you watch about raising money for investing in deals. It's about asking people if they have referrals or friends or know anybody that's interested in a deal. More oftentimes than not, if you talk to someone and they say, listen, it's not the right time for me, I'm buying a house, I'm having a kid, whatever it may be, they'll say, oh, but I have a friend so-and-so, Jane Doe, is really interested in real estate. You should reach out to her, and reach out to her. Don't leave any stone unturned.
Yeah, and the reality is, in practice and our experience here, that happened naturally, that we didn't have to really come out and ask people, hey, is there anybody else that you know that might be interested in this? It's if people hear the opportunity and they think that it's a good opportunity, whether it's the right fit for them or not, it's something that they want to talk about with their friends. And if they know friends that are interested in real estate, or if they know friends that are interested in investing, they proactively bring it to those people and make the connection, which is really cool too.
We just figured out who we're targeting and talking to for a particular deal, but now how do we approach these people? Like, what's our vibe?
Yeah, so just to be clear, we're going to focus on what we learned as we went, worked, and what didn't work. So let's start just quickly with what didn't work. So what didn't work was being super lengthy, sending long messages full of an overwhelming amount of information.
I literally got the response, that's a long text, so avoid that as much as you can.
Yeah. And truth be told, we knew that from our sales, marketing, and advertising corporate experience. We knew that, but we kind of strayed away from it because this was our first time doing it. It was a lofty $1 million goal. So we strayed from the tried and true best practices a little bit. The other thing that we would encourage you to avoid is not leading with your friendly foot, right? So focusing on the deal first and foremost instead of reaching out and reconnecting with somebody. So that leads us to the first thing that you should do, which is
being friendly. For sure. That is what we preach in all of our outreach, is making these people more than just investors, but actually friends. And in all likelihood, this is not your first or your last deal. And these people will invest with you time and time again. And even if they don't invest this time, they may invest next time. So make sure you're always asking, how's your wife? How's your husband? How's your kid? How was your birthday? Ask them to drinks and dinner instead of just a Zoom meeting. Really build a really wonderful relationship with these people if you can.
Yeah, and if you approach it in a genuine and authentic way where you're really trying to build a connection with these people and you take an interest in their lives, it's going to be a more meaningful relationship. And to Danny's point, whether they invest with you in this deal or in many future deals, if now it's not the right time for them, maybe they'll bring it to their friend or family, because the reality is that people like to do business with people that they like. So they're going to be more likely to recommend this deal or this opportunity to somebody else who it might be a better fit for, even if it's not a good fit for them.
So the next thing that you have to do, absolute must, is be excited about it, right? You got into this deal because you're excited about it. You don't want to be raising money, $50,000 plus, from friends and family, the closest people in your life, unless this is something you are excited and confident about. Being excited is contagious. People will gravitate toward it, and they're going to want to know more, and they're going to want to be excited with you.
Yeah, and I think, part of helping to share and spread the excitement is by educating people and being as helpful as possible in, helping them to understand as much as possible about the deal. So that means being available to answer as many questions as possible, however many times they even ask you the same question. It means being as responsive as possible, and it means when you don't have the answers, that you find the answers and you go back to them quickly.
And I think the truth is that not everybody is going to invest with you, right? That's just the truth. You have to be sympathetic and you have to be understanding to people's circumstances. You don't know what people are going through, and everybody has a little bit of a different perspective. Don't take it personally, and really just be able to roll with it. And back to the first point, just be their friend at the end of the day.
Yeah, and piggybacking off of that is by being understanding and sympathetic to whatever somebody's current situation is. Maybe they just bought a house, maybe they just had a kid, maybe they never heard about syndication before. Whatever it is, while you're being understanding and sympathetic to it, you also just want to find a way to relate to them, okay? And that brings us back to the beginning of like being friendly and genuine and authentic, is like really building a connection with these people.
It's so important to be relatable because it also helps with some of your obstacles, right? People are going to talk to you about their concerns, whether it's the market or whether it's the financials or whether it's the, economic environment at that time. Be relatable. Just say, I question that market too, but after doing some research, X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. It's also why it's so important to know what you're talking about. So find ways to be relatable in every circumstance that you can. This is part of a series where we share our experience and some tips about how to raise private money. We hope this is helpful. If you want to learn more, be sure to like and subscribe and check out the rest of the series. If you have any questions, we're always here.